Hi, I'm Don Balcom. I'm Distinguished Professor of Psychology and Neuroscience at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill in the United States. I want to take a few moments to give you both the rationale and our results with regard to an investigation entitled Couple-Based Intervention for Depression, an Effectiveness Study in the National Health Service in England, which is really a collaborative study between investigators and clinicians in the United States and in England. In most Western countries, adult psychopathology is treated by individual therapy, and whereas that makes a great deal of sense, what we also know is that these disorders in individuals do not exist in isolation. They exist in a social context, and what that means is that close loved ones have a real capacity to influence an individual's disorder and the trajectory of that disorder over time. As a result, for people who are in committed relationships, that means that there's a real possibility that we can employ that relationship and the partner to really be a major resource in treating various adult psychological disorders. This current investigation presents the results of one of these efforts, which is a couple-based treatment for depression, which is derived from a cognitive behavioral theoretical orientation. What this means is that we use the couple together in therapy, not to just treat relationship distress, but to use the couple as a resource in treating the individual's depression. Whereas we know that many of these treatments are efficacious when they are conducted in well-controlled university settings, we do not know if when they're applied in real-world settings with typical clinicians who are providing services, whether these are effective. So the results of this study really are an effectiveness study and service evaluation in Great Britain and London in what are called IAPT services, which I believe is one of the most ambitious efforts ever made by a country to provide services to their overall population. IAPT stands for Improving Access to Psychological Therapies, and these really are empirically supported interventions. In this study, we present the results of our initial work in training 25 therapists in London to work with 63 couples in which one person presented with depression. These are complex cases because 85% of these cases also demonstrated significant relationship distress, and in 49% of the cases, the partner, who was not the presenting individual, also met criteria for being significantly depressed or anxious. In the treatment, we felt that the results were very fruitful and looked very good initially. Overall, what we got was a 57% response rate using our couple-based intervention, and that compares to an overall recovery rate of 41% for treatment of depression in IAPT services in London during the same time period. What we also found, as I noted earlier, is that 49% of these couples also had a partner who was depressed or anxious. So we also wanted to see whether the intervention was effective in alleviating the distress for the partner as well. These results also look quite well, and that partners who were not the presenting person with depression, they also showed a recovery rate of 48% if they had originally met diagnostic criteria for depression or anxiety. Furthermore, what we know is that these are complex cases. So if both people are depressed or anxious, does that really bode poorly for the effectiveness of the treatment? Very pleasantly, the results suggest that the treatment is equally effective whether only one person is depressed or anxious or both people are depressed or anxious. One of the shortcomings in the findings is that relationship adjustment or satisfaction actually did not increase with treatment. That might be important because what other research has suggested and indicated is that the presence of relationship distress is a risk factor for someone, both in the development of depression and relapse, even if they do improve as a result of treatment. Our current investigation, the way that it's set up, did not really allow for us to have long-term follow-up, so that's something that we'll need to continue to investigate in future investigations. One of the real possibilities is that the treatment was simply too short to really increase relationship satisfaction. On average, the interventions lasted 10 sessions. It may be if both people are distressed individually and there's relationship distress present, that simply a longer intervention is needed. So we hope that you will find this article to be interesting as you look at our initial results in this ongoing endeavor to provide good quality, empirically supported interventions for couples in a real world setting. Thank you.